Hi guys, it's Elliott here from GKM Real Estate in Mermaid waters. Just here today to give you guys a bit of a market update. We've just sold number 62, so we're standing in that, settles today. So it's a good time always when we've sold something to give you an idea of what was involved in the sale, how difficult it was, and give you some background information that you probably wouldn't get if you didn't have this video. So yeah, let's get into it. If we talk about the unit, 62, it's a 3-bedroom townhouse. It's a waterfront townhouse. So in Sailfish Cove, that is the best style and normally the highest price units in the complex. You'll see some of the pictures here. It was an investment property, had been for a long time. There was a tenant in here for most of the year. They were paying $700 per week. If we talk about presentation, it was presented horribly. It was a real challenge to show the buyers this property. One, we were dealing with tenants. Two, the tenants we were dealing with were good people, but if you're looking from a sales aspect, the presentation was not even close to where it needed to be. So there was challenges around that. And look, that's what we're good at. So we did sort of have a lot of hurdles to jump over. And early days there, and we listed this, like I said, last year around this time. And early days, we got a lot of interest. The waterfront bedroom, 3-bedroom townhouses or 2-bedrooms always generate a lot of interest. You can see the great view and everything that comes with a waterfront bedroom at Sailfish Cove. The challenge around this one was more the price point and what the owners were willing to let it go for. We actually asked the owners what they were willing to take, and it was a lot less than what we thought the property was worth. So in this instance, we were really quite strong with our opinion to the sellers in the fact that we thought the property value was worth a certain amount, and we believed we could achieve that. It definitely had its challenges along the way. We definitely got a great result. It sold for $832 1 year ago. And the buyer signed a contract. The contract was unconditional. The only thing the buyer had was a bit of a longer settlement because she needed a property down south to sell, and she was going to use the funds from that property to buy this property, but essentially signed an unconditional contract, so it was sold. They didn't think they would have any trouble selling that property in Melbourne. And that was January this year. This one was supposed to settle, and obviously January sort of rolled around. Unfortunately, the buyer at the time couldn't settle. So what happens in that scenario? They actually lost their deposit. So they put down a deposit on the property, and unfortunately they had to forfeit the deposit because they couldn't settle, they couldn't pay for the property. They were given an option to pay for the property, just couldn't do it, and a resolution couldn't be met. So the owner decided, with our help of course, to put it back on the market and start looking for another buyer. Now we did this, obviously when you sell a tenanted property, it's very stressful for the tenant. The first time around it was stressful. It was definitely stressful the second time around for the tenant. So there was, the second time around it was 100% even more challenging. We're showing the property, presentation, were awful. There's no other way to put it. So when we had buyers and we brought them through, it basically turned off probably 85% of buyers. But again, when we listed it in February, I think it was the start of February this year, we had a great offer from an owner. It was, I think it had some conditions in it, but it was a strong offer in the high sevens when we listed in February. But again, we went back to our sellers and we were quite adamant that the property was worth more than that, and they should consider holding out. I mean, they could have taken that offer, taken their money and sort of moved on, but that was not the way we sort of seen it, right? We thought the property was worth more and we stayed with the market. Unfortunately, presentation, trying to get access to the property, all these things were challenging, and we made a decision at the end of February to actually remove it from the market, take it off for a month, get the tenant out, which happened in the end in mid-April. It was supposed to be towards the start of April. It ended up around mid-April, so towards the end of April, we ended up having an empty unit, like what you see here today. We got it back on the market. We run our open homes again. We trucked a lot of people through. Again, the interest was strong. At all times when we put this property on the market, we've had plenty of buyers inquiring. Every week we had people ringing up, asking about it, looking for waterfront properties. They're very, very much in demand in Mermaid waters and on the Gold Coast, I suppose. So from that point of view, it wasn't a problem. It was just about finding the right buyer. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a new buyer, but at the same time in April, the buyer that didn't settle in January, so the original buyer, actually sold that property down south and was able to come full circle, put another contract on the house, a new contract on the house. Again, it sold for $832, the original price, but it was just 2 contracts over the span of a year. that property did settle, and today is settlement day, so it's all going to go through. I think it's about an 11-month trip, this one. So we're very happy for the sellers, and we're extremely happy for the buyer because they got the property they wanted. It did take a little bit longer and there were some hurdles in there in the middle, but a great result. So if you do have a 3-bedroom waterfront, they are in demand. If you've got a property that's not on the waterfront, look, give us a call. There's definitely plenty of buyers out there in the market today looking for properties like this one. If you need anything else, always we're located, our office is at Sailfish Point, so we're not far away, and we specialise in Sailfish Point, Sailfish Cove, so we'd love to have a chat. Thanks, guys.